happy for Sanusi. I'm happy Sanusi is bad because he's done a lot for the people. I mean, when it comes to speaking for the people, but it is what it is. I mean, we ever since when politicians kind of took over, I mean, control of traditional rulers, there has been problems, and it's always looking as if they are the ones selecting or they have anointed candidate to be traditional ruler. Maybe the ancestors are no longer picking. Maybe the gods are tired of the people and they left everything alone for politicians. But whichever way it is, let them stay calm in Kano so that it doesn't look like what is going on in Rivers now. But let's not.
Sorry, let me just say something. You guess what? However, the case is still in court, so what our contributions on it should be minimal.
Actually,
so not be, charged with, being prejudicial or trying to predicting the outcome.
Don't get by.
But it's not just about politicians. That's where I'm going. We have had cases where the military, removed or dethroned traditional rulers. Abacha did, and a lot of other, military rulers did the same. You understand? So it's not just about politics. It's a social issue. It happens everywhere. Even when there were no military and there was no political, class under the imperial, influence. That's the European. They dethroned so many kings and enthroned so many. So this is just about human affairs. It's not because it's politics. Today you have democracy and politics will be the center issue. Politicians have been the players, will be the center actors. But this is how it is way back from time immemorial. You have people dethroning kings and enthroning kings once they have the power or the authority to do so.
That's how it's like that in the world. Even people renouncing their position, at least it happens in England.
For me, I have a different opinion, because even if the case is still in courts, we're still waiting for the final verdict. But the state government has said they want to demolish Bayero Palace. They want to repair the palace. Nasarawa Palace. So what are they playing at? It's a game. It's a game of the throne. Power game. All right, now let's go to our topic, Esther, before we waste your time this morning. Because on this table we talk politics a lot. I hope one day you can just come and analyze with us, because I think I love your analysis. This short one. All right, we're looking at climate change and its impact on Lagos. What can you say about the climate change in Lagos?
Yep. Well, it's a fact that climate change is real, and the evidence is abound. You see it everywhere. We're facing extreme weather conditions. You have the flooding is now on the increase. The volume is what it used to be before, it's not what it is now. The volume of the flood, the high, that's the sea water, rise is obvious. The water is now beginning to claim more spaces than what it used to be, and you have a lot of challenges from the climate now that we are trying to contend with. Up north, you can see the drought and the desert encroachment, the desertification, the ocean surge from the coastal areas. You understand? The facilities are being stretched out. So these are the impact of climate change, and it's not just on infrastructures, even on health. Extreme weather conditions leading to a lot of sicknesses that were not used to be that prevalent before. Now you talk of cholera, you talk of these are the challenges, and because of that we have it has been predicted that by 2050 about 650 million populace will be suffering from water shortage. 650 million. Then about 1.6 billion will be faced with extreme heat issues. So what that meant is that while we down south will be struggling with provision of water. I mean, potable water, usable water. Those up north, we have challenge, serious challenge of heat wave, coming down, pushing them down here. So where are we all going? From south, we want to run up. From north, they want to come down. So where are we? And couple that with the reality of our population explosion, the high density of our population, the number of persons per square meter keeps increasing. Facilities are being stretched out. More people using the little facilities that are available, infrastructures, and before you know it, these things are stretched out and giving way. So that means there's need for us to start thinking ahead. We have to first talk about mitigation. What can we do to mitigate all of this, effect or impacts? And then we have to start building resilience. That in the event that these things actually come at us and we are confronted with it fully, how do we survive? Even in it, we have to get used to. Are we going to just get used to it? Are we going to develop or build some defense system that will immune us from some of these negative impacts? These are the issues around resilience. You understand? So climate change is obviously real.
But what would be the reason why we're experiencing climate change? Because most people are not educated and not enlightened about this.
Anyway, I agree with you. An average Nigerian or human is not interested in what is the cause. Even when you talk about climate change, some people still don't believe it's real. They just think it's some fictitious, idealistic posit by some world leaders to start, embezzling money, taking money. But unfortunately, these things, they live with it every day. They suffer it every day, but they don't even know what the cause actually is. You understand? So climate change is simple. The simplest definition of it is just to tell you what you will experience. Extreme weather condition. Now the cause will go there. In some areas it's extreme heat, and when they experience it, it goes for a very long period of time than usual, than what they are. Like in Nigeria, we are used to rainy season, dry season, the harmattan. But you now discover the harmattan will just show face when out of the cycle. Mm-hmm. You just break the cycle and show face like 1 or 2 days, and you have extended heat at some period, and sometime you have rain, coming out abnormally, and the precipitation is obvious that something is wrong. Why is this rain coming at this time? Gone are the days you talk about August rain, this one. No. So this is, and the reason is simple. When you release some gases, some elements into the air,
like burning of bushes.
Yes. Why we burn bushes a lot, we use chemicals a lot. Now the greenhouse, there's something called greenhouse gases, and there are different sources of its release. And when you have excess carbon in the air, when you release carbon into the air, when you have methane as a stage 4, you have it released into the society, into the environment and the air. These are the elements that constitute the greenhouse gases, and before you know it, it starts interfering with the atmosphere. Now as it is now, and that start depleting the ozone. We have the globe, the earth itself has a protective coat, you understand, called ozone layer. That ozone layer is, what it does is simply to protect us from the UV ray, that's ultraviolet radiations from outer space, from the sun. It will shield us from having its direct impact. And once the ozone layer start getting depleted, we start depleting it with all of these gases, start interfering with ozone layer, forming something else and breaking down the ozone layer. That means the oncoming radiation from the sun we have direct touch on humans and other things that are just on the planet Earth, and you start experiencing that change. So now the question is, what are we doing that is aiding such development or such process? Now scientific studies has shown that release of carbon into the air, like methane, from our volatile organic compounds, the waste dump, the dump site, landfills, and all of those things are actually aiding that process, interfering with the ozone layer and making it. Industrialization comes with a lot of huge carbon release. You understand? And that is responsible for a substantial part of this depletion that we talk about, and that also is prevalent with the developed countries. We are just coming up. We have very low level of industrialization, and now in
Lagos or
in Nigeria, even in Africa, it will surprise you to know that the 10 most prone cities of the world to climate change effect and to be affected by climate change, 8 of it are in Africa. However, Africa contributed least to the damage or depletion of that ozone layer. And this has been the debate. Okay, if you want us, Africa has high quest for development now. We want to develop, we want to grow. The Europe and the first world have gone through that phase and they are developed. We too need to develop. Now, if you start preaching that we should cut down on our carbon footprint, we should cut down this, what it meant is that industrialization, we should go slow on industrialization. The alternative is to do energy, transfer. We change from carbon burning, fossil fuel burning, to renewable sources, and that requires a lot of funding. And this is why there's
recycling coming.
You say what?
Is that where recycling coming?
Recycling is just a sub process. You understand?
Okay.
Why we need to recycle is to save the landfills. You understand? Save the landfills. What we see as waste today and we take into the landfill, waste is not actually waste. Waste are misplaced resources. These are you misplace them, you displace them, and they ended up in the landfill. A substantial part of that condemned resource that you are taking to the waste dump can still be reused, can still be recycled. You understand? So because of that, we need to cut what is going to the landfills through this RRR process. You understand? So when we do that, we cut down on what is going to the landfill. Then our organic waste, the organic waste through which most of the methane is generated. You understand? So we need to come to waste separation. We need to sort waste. Those that are biodegradable, we need to know what to do with them, how to subject them to another kind of resource to be used. And those that are non-biodegradable, we have to also find a way, subject them to a different process of use. You understand? Of recent, we banned, I think around January, the Lagos Minister of Environment banned styrofoam, because it's not that the styrofoam is not entirely biodegradable, but it takes like 500 years to degrade. You understand? So that time intervention is so huge that the damage it would have caused before that time highly inimical to our own survival. You can see them on our waste, and now all these things are intertwined. If you have all of those waste, the styrofoam in the drain, and we have challenges with water rise again, and these things are blocking the path of the water flowing back to, completing that cycle from rain to the surface through surface, terrain route back to the water body. And that cycle, if you start having blockages like houses, structures, these styrofoams choking the water will find its level. Actually, and finding its level mean
go to the wrong place,
overflowing the bounds. So these are things we need to cleverly and smartly put together for us to communicate to the public on the do's and don'ts, things to avoid and things to embrace. You get what I'm saying? So that's the challenge. So the reuse that you're talking about is one of the elements of cutting down this climate change issue, cutting down on it. That's what you need to be able to cut down what goes to your landfill. You understand? When you cut down the charging your landfill, then the methane and all of those issues arising from landfill and influencing climate change will be cut down as well. So that's just it.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Yeah, you are not just feeding the general populace, but you're actually feeding even we that were on this table. Well, quickly, I'd like to ask a question. Yeah, the Lagos State government last week hosted the 10th edition of Lagos International Climate Change Summit with the theme accelerating climate finance and championing local adoption initiatives. You were among other personality on environmental matters. Can you please share a little? Just something that I can highlight.
That summit, is very unique with Lagos. That's the 10th edition, really. But the administration of Baba Tunde Raji Fashola BRF inaugurated that summit in 2009. So ordinarily it shouldn't be the 10th summit. Maybe this should be the 15th edition. But because of events like SARS, COVID that actually stopped, interfered with that cycle. So we're on the 10th edition, and it's simple. It's like my sister just said now that what is the whole thing about the climate change thing. People are not very aware about what is happening. So the summit is meant to propagate and to communicate effectively to people what that climate change is all about and how it affects us and what can we do centrally from the mainstream and how can we cascade down to the general public what we should embrace. Then how do we invite international bodies, cities, organizations, countries to partner with our own local. You see, we use a phrase, you have to think globally and act locally. Think globally, act locally. Take global initiatives, global solutions, and adapt it to make it an appropriate solution that fits into your own locality. You get it. And that has been the challenge of many people. Most of our challenges arise from people just importing solutions and not adapting it to your own local situation, so that your people can understand and digest it, so that your people will own that whole initiative or the whole exercise or process or solutions or recommendations. You have to find a way to get your people to own it and be part of it. If they understand the dangers looming around them, of course they'll be part of the solutions to conquer such or to surmount such challenges. So that's the whole essence of the climate summit. We have the government is there, the private sectors are there, global partners are there, development partners are there, the scholars from the academias are there, the students are there. So you have the youth were also incorporated. So it's a diverse thought. While a generation is thinking like this, you have the Gen Z generations too. They have their own concept, their own approach to issues, and they have to be part of it. If you want them to own it, you cannot just stick to what you think you know or what is happening somewhere at the academic level. You have to break it down for them. So they'll ask you questions, they will tell you their own experiences, and together we will play around it and fight the way forward. So the summit is about, now, the major challenge that we are facing as African countries, like I mentioned, is financing. You don't want us to, Mr. President once mentioned about the poison chalice and the church rat thing while campaigning. If you remember, he was talking about the poison chalice in the church, the poor rat church, the poison chalice that he should not take from. So what
chalice that is used to take the wine?
Yeah. Now, this chalice is now poisoned, but the poor church rats too need to take something. So you must make an alternative for you to dissuade or take the mind of that rat away from that
poison chalice.
Yes. You don't want us to. You want us to cut down industrialization, carbon footprint. You understand? Because from industrialization you have huge carbon footprint, and from there you don't want us to go industrially. That will keep us perpetually down. So what it then meant is you have to finance us, you have to support us to migrate to the alternatives. Because one thing is key: progress. There must be progress. There must be development. You people are developed. We are developing. We must rev up.
Engineer Olakunle, though I want to believe that maybe, will I say, the government, they are not proactive enough to at least do more publicity on this climate change that is happening. Because in Nigeria, let me talk about Nigeria because I'm in Nigeria, I think the grassroots, they are more than the elites.
Definitely.
You understand?
Yeah.
So let me put it that way. So I think if you ask a normal pepper seller now that what is climate change, they don't know it. I believe there should be more publicity.
But they're feeling it.
But they're feeling it. But
some of them will tell you that. You imagine why you're walling on Jometa.
I know they will say that if I
don't know what is happening.
That's what they will say. But they don't understand. So I believe the government should try to do something in Yoruba.
Yes, if you look at some of on the social media of recent, some of the advertorials, some of the jingles, it's just in different languages. We have some in Pidgin, in Yoruba, we're doing in Hausa, Pidgin, Igbo, and this is what we're trying to do, is just to have effective communication first. Let everybody understand. And to blow your mind, it's just Lagos that is on the lead on all of this.
Has to be, it's the most populated black state.
You understand? It's Lagos, and we have to continue to.
They won't agree with you.
They don't have to.
We have to continue to evolve more and more and develop more and more, getting these things across more and more. And a part of the challenges Lagos is facing is immigrants, people coming in on daily basis. You see, whilst still struggling to develop the capacity of those that are in already, the awareness. Somebody that is fresh from the bush is just coming today, doesn't even know. So it's, you don't have that homogeneous thing. Somebody is coming from the hinterland that has not heard of it. So while you are convincing 10 people, 100 people are just arriving to be part of the population, and you have to start all over.
So I think it's just
to educate. So it's a continuous thing. Now we have in the school curriculum now. We are now putting this climate change, topic as part of the things they should learn from that early ages. Understand it from the primary to secondary to university level. So these are, if you put it as part of the curriculum, something for them to be assessed with, so it becomes part of them. An average Nigerian, you see, there's a saying I feel is a bit insulting. that if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in the book. You understand? If those things don't worry, if it's not something that actually worries them, you know, they don't bother.
Right.
Even if they are feeling it, they will endure. They don't want to. But if you find a way to make that a part of determinant of their progress, of who they can be, of what they can become, then they are forced to look into it and study it. So that's why the climate change, you know, causes have to be, you know, put in the, you know, slots into the curriculum.
Thank you very much. We have to let you go. I think you've been able to convince us, not confuse us, that climate change is real. Reasons for climate change.
My code debate.
Okay, so now I have to let you go, engineer. But before you leave, what message you have for everyone out there?
Fine. There's enough for, like according to Gandhi, the world has enough for everyone. Need for all of our need, but never enough for our greed.
Yes.
You understand? Let us be, you know, mindful of what, because of my need. Let it not rub off negatively on what you should be.
Affect others.
You know, think of empathize, think of others. You're going on the road, you just dump a paper, and you think it's just you. Imagine multiples of you dumping that paper. Then what would the city become? So at that instance, you have to go and pick that paper. So think of the multiplicity of your action. Let me put it that way.
Like the change.
Yes, because if you don't, it shows you are greedy.
That's with you and I.
So there's never enough for our greed.
I mean,
thank you very much.
There are a lot to ask you, but we have to refix this interview. There are a lot to ask, but we'll refix the interview.
All right, it's the Friday edition on the Bumper Breakfast Show, and today I'm telling you it promises to be more interesting, because right from this moment, Rio takes the drive, and he has a lot that he'll be unleashing today. They have the yoga day today, and we also have a younger papa in the house that will be talking about,
I mean, Nigerians in the diaspora.
Okay. And
it's going to be very entertaining.
Very entertaining. Just don't touch that down. We will be back after this break.
Thank you.